What is up, you fabulous bunch of people? It's your girl Becks, and welcome back to the race rundown following an absolutely electrifying weekend in Monza this past weekend. He wins in Monaco. He wins in Monza. Charles Leclerc is back? Question mark? Now, let's get into it. Obviously, I want to start from the beginning. Okay, what a time to be alive for a Ferrari fan, right? Obviously, victory in Monza, absolutely stunning. Could not have asked for a better day. However, for the McLaren fans, first of all, how are we all feeling? I know it was a little bit stressful. How are we all feeling? Second off, if you're all okay and you're mentally ready and prepared, I'd like to get into what happened in the race. So I want to start with the race start. Lando. What can I say? It has almost become a given that Lando Norris will bottle the start of every race that he begins in pole. And something's going on there. Maybe he needs to play the video game a bit more. Maybe he needs to hit the sim a bit more. I don't know. But either way, out of the two papayas, Oscar was better off the line. However, I must say, the formations into the first corner and the slipstreaming and the defence against Russell, outstanding from Team Papaya. Absolutely outstanding. Could not have gone any better if we tried. Do I, however, see the next incident of Oscar passing Lando as a key point in this race? It was interesting, okay? Obviously, Oscar got better off the line. Lando pulled over to cover him. George then saw the gap. Oscar then saw that gap, tried to cover off George. George then went into the runoff area, came back in fourth behind Leclerc. After all that, Oscar then sees a gap and goes meow round the outside. Fair play to the man, you know? Fair play. You cannot fault him. However, I do not think that Lando was expecting that to happen. I think that given the team order debacle from episode 13, I believe, I thought that McLaren may have had yet another team orders up their sleeve. However, we were all proven wrong when Oscar went round the outside of Lando and left a space wide open for Leclerc. Leclerc just scooted on round Lando Norris, leaving him in third. Boo. Disappointment. However, the electrifying crowd in Monza made that moment very, very special. At this point, the McLaren fans, yes, I'm talking about us in the third person, are crying. The Tifosi, the Italians, are absolutely lit in the crowd. Absolutely lit, as Leclerc is now in second. Fan-flipping-tastic. In the midfield, we have Lewis Midfielderton, and Max cannot drive in dirty air. Verstappen. At this point, they are battling in the midfield, and Max comes over the radio saying, and I quote, "Thought we were meant to leave a car's width. I got a penalty for that." Interesting, Max, how when you do that to people, you expect no repercussions. However, when other people do that to you, you are first on the radio to point it out. How does it feel to be humbled, my friend? Moving swiftly on so that I don't end up going into a rant about how much Max is a hypocrite. Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo then have a collision in the midfield, with George taking some damage from going into that runoff area and allowing, as a result, Checo to pass him in the midfield. McLaren then decide at this stage to take the undercut on Leclerc in order to achieve second position. Then the Ferraris respond. At this point, we're all thinking, two-stop race. Red Bull's two-stop. McLaren, two-stop. Mercedes, two-stop. Every single team on the grid is thinking two-stop race. Tyre deg in Monza is ridiculous. Everybody's left front tyres were just graining so quickly. The Ferraris obviously decide to react to the undercut. And at this point, I am sat there watching, thinking, they've gone on to hards. They're obviously thinking about doing a one-stop race here. However, they have stopped very, very early. So when the tyre-eating Ferrari has been tasked with a one-stop, that just goes to show the absolute masterclass of Leclerc driving round Monza, okay? Because that car munches through tyres like there is no tomorrow. However, he made that shit look easy. So, baby claps. Baby claps for Leclerc there. Honestly, an absolute masterclass. At this stage, Lando comes into the pits. He's going a little bit too fast and he hits the bollard on the way in to the pits. Did he slow down enough? Thank the Lord, yes he did. The steward said that he slowed down enough. Fantastic. After this scenario of Lando coming out of the pits, Leclerc coming out of the pits, we then hear over the radio, you are allowed to race Oscar Papaya rules. At this point, I'm thinking, every other McLaren fan is thinking, what the hell is Papaya rules? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have reports from Sky F1. Thank you so much, guys, over at Sky F1, constantly helping me out here. They had an interview with the big ZB, the big Zach Brown. And he has said, to clear it up for all those people that are wondering what Papaya rules actually is. Papaya rules are, it's your teammate. Race him hard, race him clean. Don't touch. Just race cleanly and respectfully, right? He said here that Lando got a bad run out of the corner, so it would have been nice to see them run one or two a bit longer. They didn't touch. It was an aggressive pass, but it was clean. Therefore, Papaya rules. Do I think that that is necessarily great for the future of Lando's World Championship? Potentially. We're going to go into that later on in the episode. No. Do I think that the team orders are bullshit? Yes, and my opinions on that will stand the test of time. However, I think that, hopefully, I would like to think that McLaren have a plan, right? They have a plan. They want to get the constructors over Red Bull. Fair play. Do they think at this stage that they could genuinely beat Max in the World Championships with Lando? I'm still not sure, to be honest. We're going to go into this a bit later, but I'm still not sure. And hopefully they have a strategy, because whatever the feck is happening to that Red Bull right now, like, it is actually tragic. Getting into that, Max then gets a whack of understeer and nearly ends up in the gravel. Now, Nui has obviously left, and I can't help but thinking that he has taken a vital part of that car with him and had it written in his contract that they could only use it while he was there, because why else would the car have taken such a nosedive so quickly? Like, a car that was so dominant at the beginning of the season is now a shocking pile of shite at Monza. Like, I don't get it. Max was basically winning with a clean sheet and now everybody else has caught up. It's like, what happened to your car when Nui decided to peace out? Like, did he take half of it with him? Like, what happened here? Is Horner to blame for the fact that it's gone to shit? Is the car just, I don't know, have they just done an upgrade that's tweaked it too much and they need to dull it down a bit? I don't know. And what do you think? Do you agree with me that Nui has maybe taken something with him, or it was in a contract that they could only use it while Nui was there? Who knows? Who knows? But the car recently has been a shocking pile of shite, to the point where even Max and Horner have spoken out about the fact that Red Bull need to make some changes. And all I can envisage is Toto saying, if you've got a problem, change your fucking car. Oh, how the tables have turned, Mr. Horner. How the tables have turned. So, Max goes off the track. Little bit of excitement there. Then, we have K-Mag causing a collision with Pierre Gasly. Now, this would eventually, again, I will speak more on this as some off-track news, this would eventually be the downfall for his next race in Azerbaijan. We will go into that. So there's lots of excitement going on. Then the piece of shit that is Red Bull has a slow pit stop of 6.2 seconds. That is the slowest I have ever seen a Red Bull in the pit lane for a very, very long time. And I would be lying if I said I didn't have a smile on my face. And not in a horrible way. Just the fact that seeing them struggle a little bit and almost be humbled a little bit just makes me excited for the remainder of the season, and the fact that the field is a lot more level when the Red Bull isn't dominant, and it feels, dare I say it, a little bit more like old school Formula 1. Not massively, but a little bit. So I'll take it. Then obviously the main point of the race that everybody was absolutely gunning for was Franco Colapinto in the Williams. Again, I'm probably absolutely butchering his name, so apologies. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, please let me know in the comments. He was racing for Williams. Now, before the beginning of the Italian GP in Monza, we saw the news that Colapinto had stuffed it into the wall. in the same location that the safety car went into the wall, which had recently been resurfaced. Do we think this is a coincidence? Absolutely not. And I am just glad that everybody is okay and was able to race and not injured. So that's fantastic. Speaking of people making more mistakes, a little bit further down in the race on lap 31 out of 53, Lando Norris makes a mistake on turn 4, losing the position to Leclerc, which leaves Oscar, Leclerc, Norris. Ferrari then are absolutely killing it in managing their tyres. Oscar then needs to pit for a second time, leading Leclerc to maintain the race lead, with Oscar slotting into second with Alex Albon in between him and Lando, giving him a little bit of breathing space. Then, at this point in time, I'm thinking, team orders. Lando needs the points, to be honest. They need the points for the constructors. So, in terms of the constructors, they needed fastest lap and as many points as they could get from both drivers, right? So, from a constructor's perspective, it didn't matter who was in second and who was in third, because it's points, right? Would have been the same number of points no matter what. However, for Lando's World Championship hopes this year, again, we're going to go into that later on in the off-track news. In terms of his World Championship contention this year, it is very damaging to have him in third, because he's losing valuable points that he could be using to get ahead of Max. Obviously, there's 8 races to go. It's still a decent amount of time with the strong performance of the McLaren at this time. Dare I say it, it may be possible. I don't know. It might be possible for them to take the constructors and the worlds. I would love that. But I don't want to get my hopes up too early, as there are still 8 races to go. So, that is the rundown of the Monza GP. Obviously, Leclerc takes the win. The absolute carnage that was the podium celebrations. The sheer number of people going down the pit straight to turn 1. It was unbelievable. The photos are on Leclerc's Instagram. If you haven't seen them, go and take a look. It was absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable scenes. Fair play to Leclerc. Fair play to Ferrari, winning at their home race. The Tifosi, some of you may still have hangovers. Even now, fair play to you all. Now, I want to get into some off-track news now. Now that we've handled the race rundown, I want to get into the off-track news. So I want to start with the most recent news at the time of recording, the day after the race yesterday, and the news has come out that Kevin Magnussen has been banned from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix following a penalty for the crash with Gasly in Monza. Now, Kevin Magnussen, my guy, has been collecting penalties like they have gone out of fashion since before the summer break, to be honest, and I'm not surprised that it has led to a race ban. It's almost like he just doesn't care. He will not be racing in Azerbaijan. And then we have the official announcement of Kimi Antonelli for Mercedes in 2025. We all saw this one coming. I can't help but think that Toto was kicking himself for accidentally, leaking that last week. Everything else, in terms of Nui and everything else, is a little bit hush-hush at the moment, right? It's a little bit hush-hush. We're still waiting on some announcements for some teams. The future of K-Mag is still uncertain. The future of Bottas is still uncertain. The future of Ricciardo is still uncertain. So while we await for those, I have some personal updates to go through here. Okay, for my off-track news, some personal updates. So the first one is I wanted to give you a little bit of an update surrounding the driver card situation. Now, I know I said a few episodes ago that I have decided to collect driver's cards this season from nearly all of the racing teams for this year. However, it is not going to plan. I have signed up for the Aston Martin driver's cards at least 3 times at this point and received nothing. Now, I know that it is not a given that you will receive something. However, it would be nice to at least get a notification email from somebody saying that it worked. Who knows? I could receive 3 lots of Aston Martin cards at this point, but some of them you have to send off in the post. Now, I don't know about you, but if anyone has done this and knows how to do it and has a simpler way of doing it, can you please let me know? because I'm not great with the old postal system. I am a Gen Z, only just, but I'm a Gen Z, and I don't send letters. I'd much rather do emails or online sign-ups. So if anyone knows how to do it, please can you DM me on Insta, comment underneath this video, just let me know if you found a simpler way of doing it. And that's the end of that little driver card rant there. I know it's a first world problem, and I don't want to seem like I'm just lazy, even though, you know, I probably am. I could just get some envelopes and do it. But just, yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to be 110% transparent with you guys. I am finding it difficult. Okay, I'm finding it difficult. But even if I end up with just the Mercedes driver cards at the end of this season, I don't mind. They look cool. I can put them in a frame. I'm here for it. You know, I'm here for it. Having any driver cards is better than having none. Now, the next point. I wasn't going to mention this because I was going to not bother collecting these for 2024. However, my dear friend of mine, who you have heard on this podcast before, Callan, shout out to you, has been collecting the Turbo Attack 2024 edition of the Formula 1 cards. Now, I saw his collection and I said to myself, I collected them in 2022 and I got barely any because I didn't know where they were being sold, and I'm not going to fall down that rabbit hole again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you all right here, right now, with 100% transparency, that I bit the bullet and I'm now collecting the Turbo Attack 2024 cards. Oh boy. And I was meant to be saving for holiday. Oh dear. Well, everyone, it's happened. I probably have over 100 cards at this point. Yeah. My fiance, who I love more than anything in the world, has also helped feed this addiction. He's bought me cards. I've spent so much money on cards, it's unreal. I have packed some absolute scorchers. I've got a Nigel Mansell. I've got the Las Vegas art card, and there's only 400 of those made, which is super cool. And yeah, I'm fully invested. I didn't want to be, but I am. I am fully invested. Let me know down below or in the comments, are you guys collecting these cards as well? Are you fans of collecting these cards? Do you want to collect these cards but maybe you don't get them in the US or you don't get them where you're from? Let me know. And yeah, if you guys have got some doubles, hit me up. No, I'm kidding. Although maybe if enough of us are all collecting them, we could do a Turbo Attack Facebook page switch and swap. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, guys and gals, on that note, before I wrap this podcast up until the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, I just want to pass this question off to you. With the gap as it currently stands between Max and Lando, do we think, given a Jimmy of the team orders, could Lando see himself as a world champion for 2024? That's my question. Will it require some jimmying? Potentially. Will it require some favouritism from the old McLaren garage? Potentially. Will Stella have to pull his finger out and pick a number one driver? Potentially. Will ZB have to pick a number one driver? Who knows? I think he already has one. However, do we think that Lando could win? Let me know in the comments down below. And until then, I've been your girl Becks. This has been the Race Rundown, and I will see you after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Peace!